Let's start with the prayers. Om Bhadram Karnebhi Shrunuyama Devaha Bhadram Pashe Makshabhiryachatraha Stirairangaihi Stushtovagam Sashtanobihi Vishema Devahitam Yadayuhu Swastina Indro Vrittashavaha Swasti na Pusha Vishwavedaha Swasti nastakshorarishthanemihi Swasti no Brahaspatir Dadato Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. What we are chanting is the Shanti Mantra of Atharvana Veda. So whenever we do Upanishads, which belong to Atharvana Veda, we'll be chanting this particular Shanti Mantra. Like Mandukya Upanishad is also belongs to Atharvana Veda. And each Veda has their own Shanti Mantra. So there are 4 Vedas. So we'll be learning 4 different Shanti Mantras during our course. Kaivalya Upanishad is a brilliant text, and it brings out the entire truth of Vedanta, which is Brahma Satyam, Jagan Mithya, Jivo Brahmaiva Na Paraha. In all the 12 Upanishads, these 3 sentences which I have just uttered are very important, and whenever you want to study the Upanishad, you should ask this question: have I learned from this Upanishad these 3 statements? If you have not, you have to go back and revise the verses and then see where does this 3 sentences, where is it explained? In some of the Upanishads, it is not explained in detail, these 3 verses. You have to find hidden meanings in some of the verses. In some Upanishads, it's very clear. Taittiriya Upanishad is very clear. Brahma vida apnoti param yadesha muktam satyam jnanam anantam brahma yo veda nihitam guhayam. There it is very, very clear. Brahman is satyam. The world is mithya. The pancha koshas are mithya. Now here in Kaivalya Upanishad, the introduction to the Brahman is given in the 6th mantra itself. In the 6th mantra of the Kaivalya Upanishad, the first description of Brahman was given, where it said that Brahman is of the nature of Achintya Rupam. Achintyam Avvyaktamananta Rupam Shivam Prashanta Amrutam Brahma Yonim. That is what is the description of Brahman. It doesn't have a beginning, it doesn't have an end, you cannot think about it. It is auspicious in nature, it is peaceful, it is immortal. All this was explained in the 6th mantra itself. Then in the 10th mantra, it was said, it is that self in all of us. It is the Atman in all of us. Sarva bhutastam atmanam, sarva bhutani chatmani, sampashyan brahma paramam, yati naniyena hetuna. 10th verse. This is how the Brahman was explained in those 2 verses. Then we took up the analysis of the 3 states: waking, dream, and sleep. And then it was said that whatever is the common invariable component in the 3 states is the real nature of mind. This is the central teaching of the Upanishad. Now, this central teaching, once it is given, we should understand it as follows. My nature is of two types. One is called as Ahamkara, and the second is called as Sakshi. Ahamkara is a changing component of mind. Changing component. All the time it is changing. Variable. You are talking about inquiry about myself first. Then you come to the world also. World also will do the same type of analysis, and then we'll say that whatever is changeless is one common aspect between me and the world. So I am of the nature of changeless and changing. The changeless one is called as Sakshi, the witness of the three states of consciousness. And the changing nature is called as Ahamkara. And the threefold Ahamkara is, I am a waker, I am a dreamer, I am a sleeper. This is the changing component. Continuously, I become waker, dreamer, sleeper, waker, dreamer, sleeper. In each of them, I have different experiences. In all our experiences, there is a changing component and a changeless component. All our experiences, waking, dream, sleep, whether I'm experiencing anything in the world, any object has got, any experience has got two things, Brahman or Sakshi and the world. The world is basically objects which are called as Nama Rupa. And this Sakshi or Brahman is nothing but it is the Sat principle, existence principle or consciousness principle. Anytime we experience, we are always experiencing these two factors. Changeless factor, which is called as Satyam. Changing factor, which is called as Nama Rupa. Nama Rupa means what? All objects, including my body, including my mind, everything is Nama Rupa. The Nama Rupa is a relative concept. It is relative. It is there. It disappears in sleep. What I see in dream, it disappears in waking. So that is what is called as a lower component. Each of us have to make this distinction. This distinguishing between Ahamkara and Sakshi is the job of all seekers. Throughout our study of Vedanta, this is what we are doing. We are using different tools. We are using different Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, but what we are ultimately trying to do in our learning of 1.5 hours or 1.5 hours of every week we spend, we are trying to distinguish. Upanishad is teaching us how to know my real nature. Very important. This is a basic thing which you should always have whenever we are studying any mantra, any text, whether you're doing Panchadasi, whether you're doing Gita, whether you're doing Upanishad. And what is the nature of this Ahamkara, which is basically the mind connected with the consciousness? What is the basic nature? The basic nature of Ahamkara, the mind and the senses, it is Bahirmukha. Bahirmukhatva means extrovertedness. The mind always wants to go outside into the world and keep on thinking about different objects in the world. How can I enjoy those objects? How can I get rid of those objects? Likes and dislike, like and dislike. If you analyze your mind at any time, you will notice that the mind and the senses are always bahirmukha. Whereas Upanishad is telling us, change the direction of your thought process from bahirmukhatvam to antarmukhatvam. What is the difference between the two? Naturally, we are bahirmukhatvam in our Jagrat and Swapna state. And in Sushupti, we are Antarmukham. We take all our attention to the inward experience of ignorance in sleep. I don't know the world, I don't know myself. In the Jagrat and Swapna, I know the world, I like certain things, I don't like certain things. So it is Ahamkara Pradhana in the Jagrat and Swapna. In Sushupti, it is Sakshi Pradhana. Sakshi is there. Sakshi is the witness. Witness of all the three states is there. It is there all the time. That witness is called as Satchit Ananda. But in Jagrat and Swapna, I am not able to focus on that because my mind and senses in this body are extroverted, bahirmukham. Therefore, the Upanishads teach us meditation. Every Upanishad will talk about some form of meditation. In meditation, what we are trying to do, we are not trying to create anything new. In meditation, we are only turning our attention to what is already existing as our permanent, eternal nature, which is Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. Satyam means it is ever there, pure existence. Jnanam means it is of the nature of knowledge. I am is a consciousness in me. All the time I am there. Whether the world is there or not, I am there. This knowledge of Satyam gives me the immortality to be accepted in while I am living. This is why this knowledge is called as knowledge for moksha. Moksha means I am ever free from the identification with the body and mind as myself. Today we are identified with the body and mind as ourselves, therefore we are in bondage. To come out of this bondage, the only thing I have to do is to understand there is another nature, changeless, invariable nature of mind. And that each one of us can do. Then how to do that? Go through the Avastha Trayam. In this Upanishad, it is giving us the technique of Avastha Traya Prakriya. Prakriya means method. I sit down, I check myself, I close my eyes, bring the waking state, and reject it. I am not this. Neti. That is Ahamkara number 1. The second is I bring the dream state, not in the dream or sleep, now while waking. This is my waking dream, which I also experience. That is also not me. I experience the sleep state in which there is blankness. That is also not me. What does the Upanishad tell us? The Upanishad tells us whatever is the Sakshi of that blank state is my real nature. Without this knowledge coming from Upanishad, we will never know there is an immortal self, non-decaying self. This pure consciousness, existence, it may sound very abstract to you, but it is the reality. That is what is the real nature of this whole Jagat. I have to learn. This is a process. The Guru teaches the students the process of how to see that truth. It is not a new truth, it is not a new experience. It is already there. It is only I have to learn to see that truth. Once you have seen the truth, just claim that as my nature. That's all. Then you are free. Okay. So far, that is the essence of all the Upanishads will be doing. We have done 17 verses. From verse number 16 onwards is the portion where it is talking about 16 to 23 is the Aikyam topic. Aikyam means oneness. How do I see the oneness between me and the world? Because there is no use only knowing that I am pure consciousness. You also have to link it with the existence principle in the world. Existence and consciousness together is called as Brahman. Sat, Chit, Ananda, three features. When they are put together, the term given is Brahman. Now, this is what is being taught in verse number 16 to 23. What did we see in the 16th mantra? 16th mantra, it said this Brahman is the substratum. It is the substratum. It is the substratum of the entire world. That is what mentioned in 16th verse. The 17th verse, which we did last week, it taught us this Brahman is the illuminator of the three states: Swapna, Jagrat, Sushupti. We have to follow the logic and the reasoning of the Shruti. We cannot take our own mind, will throw up certain logic and certain reasoning. Try to avoid the intellect's thought process. How is it possible? Why is it like that? Why we are talking about a Sakshi which I can't see? All those questions, if it comes to your mind, keep them away. You are here with an open mind. You are coming with a completely open slate in your mind. I have nothing. Now I have to fill knowledge from the scriptures into this mind of mine. And once I have the knowledge, I will hold on to that knowledge. That's all. The moment you start going through your own thought process and doubts and so many things which come to your mind, you will get lost. At the end, you will lose faith in the scriptures. So 16 and 17 we have seen. 16 is substratum. This pure, changeless Sakshi is the substratum for the changing world. There is no change without the changeless. Very important fundamental principle. There is a changeless substratum for everything. If I see something is moving, I am seeing it moving because I am stationary. So each one of us, we have felt in our life that there is something which has not changed in me. From the last 30 years, has my consciousness ever changed? No. I was conscious in my childhood, adulthood, middle age, old age. All the time, I am conscious, I exist. I am conscious, I exist. The world is there, it exists. Objects and beings are there, they exist. Objects and beings may disappear, but what remains is existence. Whenever I am conscious, whenever I am experiencing something, the two factors are there: isness, which is the truth, nama rupa, which is called as objects. Chair is, man is, woman is. This isness is the changeless nature of mind. And this is what Upanishad is trying to reveal to me. And once I hold on to this, what happens is I become immortal. This I is what? Not the body. The body and mind can never become immortal because they're always mortal. Mind is always changing, body is always changing. Every cell in my body is changing rapidly. Every cell. What I was in the morning, I am not there. That body has changed because the cells have changed. Every 7 years, all the cells in our body change. The whole body changes every 7 years according to medical science. Now, if that is the change which is happening, who am I who is the indweller in this body? That is the question each one of you should ask. And the answer to that question will relieve you from the pressures of samsara. I feel very, very disappointed. I feel all that. I feel that the life has got no meaning. All that is only because you don't know there is a substratum. Verse number 18 is what we are going to study today. Let us now first understand the word, the verse first.
Trishu dhamasu yadbhogyam Trishu dhamasu yadbhogyam Bhokta bhogascha yadbhavet Bhokta bhogascha yadbhavet Tebhyo vilakshana sakshi Tebhyo vilakshana sakshi Chinmatroham sada shivaha Chinmatroham sada shivaha.
So, what does this mean? What does this verse which says, Trishudhama so yad bhogyam, bhokta bhogascha yad bhave? In 3 states, whatever I experience as a bhogya vastu, that is not me. Bhogya means joy and sorrow. Both are together called as bhogya. In Vedanta, both joy and sorrow is called as bhogya vastu. So, the body is there, I enjoy my body, old age, young age, all that I enjoy. So, is that me? No, it's not me. I enjoy the world of objects. Is that me? It is not me. Tebhyo vilakshana sakshi. See how the Upanishad presents the Sakshi. It is not the Bhogya Vastu, it is not the Bhokta, but it is the Sakshi. It is the witness. And what is the nature of this Sakshi? Chinmatroham Sada Shiva. Chinmatroham means what? It is of the nature of awareness, consciousness. It is ever auspicious, Shivaha, Sada Shivaha. It is auspicious not in the morning, afternoon, or in the night. It is not auspicious yesterday or 10 years ago. It is ever auspicious. And it is Chinmatraha. It is pure consciousness. It is not consciousness of an object. It is not consciousness mixed with objects. This is a very, very important mantra where it teaches you how to differentiate, distinguish, separate Ahamkara and Sakshi, mind and the witness. Many people have difficulty in understanding what is this mind, what is this awareness, consciousness. This verse is the most important among all the Upanishadic literature if you want to distinguish what is this mind, what is this Sakshi. Mahavakya mantras are from 16 to 23. Each of these mantras can be taken up for meditation. Last week, I took one of these mantras for meditation in my Wednesday class. If you are interested to learn more about meditations, you just get enrolled in the Wednesday class. Every week, you will get by WhatsApp the talk on meditation. So, in these mantras, the Jivatma, I, the Jivatma, the indweller in this body, I realize I am one with Paramatma, the essence behind this entire creation. Like I am saying, I am the indweller in this body, there is an indweller in this world. That indweller in the world totality is called as Paramatma. And what is the nature of the Atma, the Jivatma, and the Paramatma? What is the intrinsic nature? That is what is getting highlighted here. Whatever is the nature of the Jivatma, the pure existence, consciousness, it is the same with the Paramatma. So even now, while experiencing the world, if I close my eyes and I focus on the pure existence without the body, without the world, that is my nature. If I remove the existence from the world which I experience, if I remove the name and form and hold on to the pure existence from the world, that is what is one common element between me, the body, and the world. There is one non-dual Paramatma. That non-dual Paramatma is what is called as Brahman. So so in a sense, what is it saying? In a sense, this verse is saying that there is a higher nature of mind, which I don't know today. It exists by itself. It is immortal. It is called as pure existence. It is my own higher nature. It is nothing. I don't have to do anything else. I just have to learn to segregate, to separate, to distinguish the pure existence. How do I do it? I just close my eyes and say to myself, I am the pure existence. Let that thought run. I am the pure consciousness. Let that thought run in your mind. This is what is called as antarmukhatva. I'm used to being turned in the world, turned outside, bahirmukhatva. Jivatma must be clearly understood, then only it can claim identity with the Paramatma. Every wave can say, I am the content, water. Every Jivatma can say, I am the content, Chaitanya. Jiva Jagat ex appearance is a reflection. This is how the Veda teaches us. Dakshinamurti Stotram clearly says that the world is experienced in the mirror of consciousness. The first mantra of Dakshinamurti Stotram, Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana Nagari, Tulyam Nijantargatam. Now, this consciousness is the screen in which the world is coming and the world is going off. The name and form, the moving characters are names and forms. That is the Ahamkara portion, which I take it myself as that Ahamkara. Now the Upanishad is teaching you're not that Ahamkara, the movie characters, but you are the screen. You are the pure screen on which everything is happening and going. That pure screen is changeless, undecaying, unborn, undying. Know that changeless nature and be free. Know every wave is a name and form. But what is the content? The name and form of a wave is born and it dies. The name and form of all of us will rise and will resolve. What will remain is the existence consciousness. That existence consciousness is immortal. I only have to get this knowledge from the Upanishad and claim it. That knowledge of the Chaitanyam is what is the knowledge of water. I am immortal as water principle, as the Chaitanyam principle. So the Tvam Pada, in the Mahavakyam, there are two parts, Tvam and Tat. Tvam stands for me, Tat stands for Paramatma. In the Tvam Pada, there are two portions. One is called as Vachyartha, another is called as Lakshyartha. Vachyartha means the changing element, which is the Ahamkara. Whenever I say I, the changing element of I is the Ahamkara, which is the Vachyartha, which is a regular Laukika meaning. But there is a Lakshyartha. Lakshyartha means indicative meaning. Indicative meaning of Tvam-pada is the Chaitanyam, the consciousness. So this is the Tvam-pada. If this is understood, then you can say that the Tvam-pada Lakshyartha, the Chaitanyam, is the same as the Tat-pada Lakshyartha. Tat-pada means what? Tat stands for God. Paramatma. Paramatma also has got Vachyartha and Lakshya. Vachyartha means what? The Jagat. Whatever my eyes can see as the Jagat, the world, is the Vachyartha of Paramatma. But Paramatma also has got a Lakshyartha. Lakshyartha means what? It is an indicative meaning of the Paramatma. What is the indicative meaning of Paramatma? It is the existence principle. Then the Upanishad says this Jivatma and Paramatma are one. from the point not of Vachyartha, but Lakshya. From the point of consciousness in this body, the Chaitanyam principle, which is the Lakshyartha, that principle and the existence principle in the world, the Satyam principle, Sat aspect, the ease aspect, everything is in the world, is. That ease is the common denominator. That easiness and this consciousness, they are one Brahman. They are one. It is one principle called as Brahman, which is the Lakshyartha, which is ultimately called as the reality, the substrat. This is the Mahavakya analysis. Aham Trishu Dhamasu Vilakshana Sakshi. Sakshi Chaitanyam is real I. So what I described to you, that separate Lakshyartha principle, the pure consciousness principle, is the intrinsic nature, inherent nature in me all the time. Yesterday, when I was born, before I was born, after my body goes away, I will be this consciousness. That is the teaching. With full faith, I accept it and claim it. And I will get moksha here and now. This is the methodology of the scriptures to understand and be free. Many people don't know. They come and they get muddled up in scriptures. Chandogya Upanishad, the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, 12 Upanishad I have studied, but I have not understood what is this. Because the way you approach the Upanishad should be clear. If you understand the methodology, Upanishad, in one Upanishad, you will know that I am free. So this intrinsic nature of mine is not in time, it is all-pervading nature. It is there in time, it is beyond time also. See, this how the scriptures define me, my real nature. It is there. This is the transcendent principle and the immanent principle. It exists, it pervades everything. At the same time, it can exist without the world also. This is the meaning we are going to see in all the 6 verses now. Immanent and transcendent. Immanent means it is there while you see while you experience the world. Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam is there right now. And when I go to sleep, I don't see the world. World is in unmanifest form. It is in potential condition. It is existing in Maya, Shakti. In that potential condition, what is my nature? My nature is Satyam, this Chaitanyam, this pure existence. If I can learn that while in this Jagrat Avastha, what am I learning? That I am the same invariable, changeless component, Trishu Dhamasu, in all the 3 states. That meaning of I is the Anuvritti Avyabhichari Chaitanyam, the changeless Chaitanyam, which is called as Sakshi. See, Chaitanya means it is the light of knowledge. Without this light of knowledge, which is my nature, nature means nobody can change it. Even God cannot change my nature, because that happens to be always there. Tebhyaha vilakshanam. I am different from the 3 states. I am different from the 3 bodies, gross, subtle, and causal. All these 3 I experience, but I'm different. I means what? I, the consciousness. Drishta natu drishyam. The seer can never be seen. experiencer and experienced are different. Bhokta bhogasya yat bhavet. What is Sakshi experiencing? It is experiencing Triputi. This is a technical term in Vedanta. Triputi means Bhokta, Bhogyam, Bhogaha. What is Bhokta? Bhokta means I, the subject, who is the indwelling mind plus consciousness. That is what is called as Bhokta. It is the subject. It is the indweller in the Jagrat Avastha or the Sushupti Avastha or the Swapna Avastha. In all the three of the Avasthas, this Bhokta is there. Bhogyam is an object of perception. In the world, there are 5 sense objects. They are called as Bhogya Vastu. Bhogaha means the interaction between the subject and the object. That is called as Bhogaha, the experience. Whenever there is an instrument of experience, you have the experience of the Bhokta and the Bhogyam. The instrument of experience means the mind. When the mind is awake, the Bhokta and the Bhogyam are interacting and ultimately getting joy or sorrow. What is the Upanishad saying? I am neither the subject, I am neither the object, I am neither the instrument, I am not the mind, I am not the objects of the world, I am not the Pramata, I am not the Bhokta. Because Bhokta is a reflection. Whenever the mind becomes awake, the Bhokta comes into form. These are very subtle topics, but if you follow them, you are free. There is no difference in the distance between the Sakshi and the Ahamkara, no physical distance. They are in the same place, same locus. Wherever that I, Ahamkara, Bhokta is there, there itself is the Sakshi. The Sakshi is different. It is Vilakshanaha. It is not the Triputi. That is what you should understand. Triputi comes into play whenever the mind is awake. Bhokta, Bhogya, Bhogyam. Jnata, Jneyam, Jnanam. With reference to the organs of perception. Jnata means knower. Jneyam means the object known. Jnana means the instrument through which you know the objects or the experience of those objects. The question is, am I the subject or different from the subject? Here, subject means the pramata, knower. What is the mechanism of experience? This is what is called as the science of knowledge, epistemology. Very, very deep science, and the Vedanta goes extremely deep in that topic, which is the knowledge. How does knowledge take place? In all the advanced texts of Vedanta, this topic of how knowledge takes place is always taken up. All advanced texts, Naishkarmiya Siddhi, in Vichara Sagara, of course, in Shruti Sara Samudharanam, in all the advanced texts, this topic of how knowledge takes place in the mind. Dakshinamurti 4th sloka is the central sloka for all this. Nanachit Ghatodharastitamaha Deepak Prabhabhaswaram. The status of a knower subject and the status of the objects or the beings is first to be known. In front of a student, I become a teacher. In front of my son, I become a father or a mother. In front of my wife, I become a husband. In front of the waking world, I become the waker. In front of the dream world, I become the dreamer. When I don't experience any world, it is called as the state of ignorance, then I become the sleeper. But I am none of this. There is something which is not changing in all this, that non-changing, invariable component is called as Sakshi. In Mandukya Upanishad, it is called as Turiya. In Chandogya Upanishad 7th chapter, it is called as Bhuma. Same thing. In the 6th chapter, it is called as Sat, Chandogya Upanishad. So, different names are given. Uttama Purusha in Bhagavad Gita 15th chapter. It is not the Shara Purusha, it is not the Akshara Purusha, it is the Uttama Purusha, which is Turiya. Very easy to understand. Anything, see, what I should learn is, in this body, there is a changeless consciousness. I am that. That's all. You can repeat it 10 times in a day so that you never forget it. I am the changeless consciousness principle. The mind is a changing phenomena. It is called as Ahamkara. I am called as Sakshi. Sakshi is immortal. Ahamkara is mortal. It is born every day and it dies every day in the sleep. Again, next day it comes back into this body. Again, it goes through the experiences. Again, it resolves in sleep. The resolution ground is called as Sakshi. Minus the object, consciousness is not even a subject. This process by which I try to understand the Sakshi element together with the objects is called as Adhyaropa. When I remove the objects from my experience, it is called as Apavada, negation. Cognitively, intellectually, not physically. All the study is cognitive science. You have to learn in your mind how to negate the waking world, dream world, sleep world, and hold on to that Sakshi, hold on to that consciousness. That is the only way I can learn Vedanta. I am Jivatma who am Sakshi, obtaining in Avastha Trayam, Jagrat Sushupti and Swapna. That's Sakshi. Sakshi means what? Witness consciousness, which is the illuminating principle. It is the light in which I see, I experience. It is the light of knowledge. It is the substratum. It is the screen in which the mind is coming. It is having some vrittis, some thoughts of the world, and then again it resolves into the consciousness. The vrittis are changing. The changing vrittis are called as Ahamkara. The changeless consciousness is called as Sakshi. It is Vilakshanam. It is beyond the transcendent. It is beyond the three states. It is called as transcendental. It is just an English word to say that there is something which is absolute principle. Paramarthika Satyam. What about the world? World is a Vyavaharika Satyam, transactional reality. There is a reality which is in the transactional form. There is a reality which is absolute form. Till I come to Vedanta, till I come to Upanishad, I am not aware of the transcendental form. This pure Sakshi can exist independently without the body, mind, and world. This is a very important statement I'm making. I'll be repeating it like 50 times in all my 12 Upanishads, because that is the central teaching. It is this consciousness, changeless, nirvikara swarupaha, nitya swarupaha, arupaha means formless, and purnaha, it is infinite, it is complete. I don't lack anything in life. I am fully satisfied because that happens to be my nature. Why do I go into the world to get joy? Because I slip from my nature into ignorance. If I can hold on to the knowledge, I'm free. Moksha. Again, I slip into the world, I get caught up in samsara. You bring back all factors, indicators discussed from verse number 6, which is Achintyam Arupam, that verse which I discussed right in the beginning. You try to bring it back in your mind. These verses, let it percolate deep into your consciousness. Then you will find a transformation happening in you. That is when the Mahavakya has been absorbed by us. 16 to 23, these 8 verses, you learn it by heart, you contemplate, and you will get success for sure. You will see a gradual transformation in your mindset. Today, our mind is conditioned by thinking, I am suffering. You need to remove that conditioning and substitute with the knowledge of the Veda. And what is that knowledge? I am Sakshi. Tell yourself very boldly, I am the Sakshi of my mind. I am the Sakshi of this body. This Sakshi nature is not changing. It is ever there. That is the faith you should have in the Veda. Subtlest in creation is this pure Sakshi. And what are the other indicators? We'll see in all the 8 verses. Chinmatroham, very important word. Chinmayaha. Chinmaya means it is Chitmaya. Chinmayananda is Chitmayananda. The Ananda which belongs to this consciousness is called as Chinmayananda. I am the Kaivalya Chaitanyam, without emotions of mind instrument. We are tormented throughout our day with emotions, morning to evening. The emotions torment us because of prarabdha karma. These emotions rise and fall, whole day, for decades, for whole lifetime. I want this, I don't want this, I like this, I don't like this, I don't want this suffering, I want this joy, I want that, I don't want this. This is the struggle of samsara. It is a struggle of the emotions in my mind. It is not me. I am the illuminator of that emotions. Repeat it again and again till it becomes your nature. Till even that any time I wake you up in the middle of night, I am Sakshi. Okay, I'm experiencing something outside. It's going to be temporary. So the body and mind are only instruments, are the medium for expression of these vasanas, these impressions which are there in this mind. It is coming every birth and it is going to go through this vritti transformation from the prarabdha. From sanchita karma, it will become prarabdha. From prarabdha, it will go to agami. Again, agami gets added to sanchita. Again, I get a new body. This is the phenomena of what we call it as the Jagat, the world. But I can come out of this cycle of samsara by the knowledge I am not a part of the body, a property of the body. I am not the product of the body or mind. I am Sakshi. I am never born. Repeat all the Nirvana Shatkam mantras in your meditation. So, the essence is I am Nitya Muktaha. Till the seeker realizes that I am always free. I was free yesterday, I was free 10 years ago, but I didn't know this knowledge. I have been taught how to go into my mind, open up my mind, see the Jagrata Avastha, see the Swapna Avastha, see the Sushupti Avastha, and claim Aham Sakshi. Name dvesha raghau, nabe lobha mohau, mado naiva me naiva matsarya bhavaha, na dharmo na charto na kamo na mokshaha, chidananda rupaha, shivoham shivoham. Every verse of the Nirvana Shatkam can be very useful to contemplate on my real nature. This is what I plan to do. Meditation of these verses will be happening in my future Wednesday sessions, where I'll be taking each of these verses and I'll be doing a meditation. Just to let the mind think. See, once you have understood what I have taught in this talk, in the beginning 25 minutes of this session, I have given you the full grasp of the Vedanta. With that grasp, with that teaching, if you are able to bring these mantras, stay with them for 10 minutes. Let the mind, many times we don't know how to meditate because the mind is very powerful. If you don't give it a topic to contemplate, the mind will bring the topic which it has, which is all the anatma, panchanatma. You know what is the panchanatma? My profession, my mind, my possessions, my family. All this is anatma. All that will come automatically. It's a preoccupied mind. The moment I wake up in the morning, that mind starts. That is the beauty of this world. Each one of us. Raga, Dvesha belongs to the instrument. It belongs to the sense organ. It does not belong to the illuminator of the sense organ. Aham Sada Shivaha. Consciousness behind the individual self is the consciousness behind Paramatma, the total creation. That Paramatma is called as the universal self. Shiva eva sada jivaha, jiva eva sada shivaha. That is what is Advaita Anubhuti. I am that pure consciousness. That pure consciousness is the nature of Shivaha. Always, not now, always. It is the nature. That is the nature of the whole universe. I only am trying to understand this universe through the eye of the scriptures. My two eyes, fleshy eyes, cannot know this. Like Arjuna said in the 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, Vishwarupa Darshan. Give me your eyes, give me the Jnana Chakshu. Lord Krishna blessed him with the Jnana Chakshu. The moment he got the Jnana Chakshu, he saw a different world. What is the different world? Without likes and dislikes. Without white likes and dislikes, you become what? Paramatma. You don't have any ego at all. So what do you see in the whole universe? Universe is coming, it is existing, it is going. That's all. This universe is just a creation of that one principle. That is going to be expanded in the next verse, which is the 19th verse.
मय्येव सकलं जातं मय्येव सकलं जातं मयि सर्वं प्रतिष्ठितं मयि सर्वं प्रतिष्ठितं मयि सर्वं लयं याति मयि सर्वं लयं याति तद्ब्रह्माद्वयमस्म्यहम् तद्ब्रह्माद्वयमस्म्यहम्
Mayyeva sakalam jatam. In me alone, everything is born. Here, me means be very careful, not the body, not the mind. It is me, the consciousness. This is one of the most beautiful mantras which is repeated by Shankaracharya in many commentaries of his. Very important mantra. This is like the Taittiriya Upanishad, Brahmavida apnoti param. Again and again contemplate on this verse. When you contemplate, what will happen to your mind? The mind will get acclimatized to the new environment of Atma. Mai sarvam pratishthitam. I am, in me alone, the whole world is existing. In me, the consciousness. Mai sarvam layam yati. In me alone, the whole world resolves. Tat Brahma Advayam Asmeyaham. That Brahman, I am. What a direct meaning of the Mahavakya. Tattvamasi. Direct meaning. Understand this one verse, you are free. But to understand this verse, you need a lot of background material. You should know the Tattvabodha, you should know the three kosha, the pancha koshas, you should know all the background information about the three bodies, about the five koshas, and about the three avasthas. If you know that, then you can meditate on this. So only with the knowledge of Advaita, you can do Advaitic meditation. This is one of the most important mantras for Advaitic meditation. You have to just close your eyes and let this mantra flow through in your mind again and again, repeated. Mayyeva sakalam jatam, Mai sarvam pratishthitam, Mai sarvam layam yati, Tad Brahma Advayam Asmyaham. The reason we do Panchakosha Viveka in Taittiriya Upanishad is because I have to let my mind travel from gross body to the subtlest Atma. I cannot do directly. I have to go through different 5 levels. Annamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Anandamaya Kosha, and then you have to say, I am the Atma, which is the witness of Anandamaya Kosha. So similarly here, if I say I am the non-dual Brahman, no, your mind, intellect will not accept. So step by step, 3 steps are given here. First step, the whole world comes from me. That means what? I do not have to take the Jagrata Avastha as the reference point in my analysis. Many people, they keep looking at the Jagrata Avastha and start doing all the analysis of Vedanta. They all fail because they are looking at their body. With reference to the body, they try to analyze consciousness. It will never work. You're always Dehatma Buddhi. You will always have Dvaitam. With that Dvaitam in the background, if you bring in consciousness, it will not work. You have to, the starting point must be very clear. This is the starting point. The starting point is taught in this verse. The starting point is, I am that non-dual Brahman. From that non-dual Brahman, that pure consciousness, that pure existence, this whole world is coming. That means this point, this fulcrum, this point is beyond your sleep state. It is beyond. It is not the sleep state. It is not the Ajnana Avastha. There is a Sakshi. That is why when you wake up, you say, I slept well. There was a Sakshi, there was a knowing principle of the sleep state. This is how Shankaracharya proves the existence of Sakshi in Avastatraya Viveka. So from that pure consciousness existence principle, this whole world is rising. It exists for a few hours. Again, it goes back. Again, it rises. Again, it goes back. If I am able to think this truth, manifestation and unmanifestation of the world becomes very clear. This is one of the fundamental things which we need to learn. The world manifests in my mind. The world goes into unmanifest condition in my own mind. It is a challenge for the intellect to accept this, but there is no other way. This is the path. You have to go through this path. Let your intellect. Don't blame the Veda, saying that the Veda is not true. You blame yourself. My intellect is not ready yet. The moment my intellect becomes sharp, it will accept this truth and claim Aham Brahmasmi. Paramatma is highlighted in this verse. When I, the Atma, put on the Paramatma Vesham, Atma means the consciousness, then only I can utter this verse. That pure consciousness becomes the Lord of the universe. That Lord of the universe can make this statement. In me alone, the whole world is rising, existing, and going back. I am that creator, projector, principle, resolver, sustainer, projector, sustainer, resolver. Projector, sustainer, resolver. That one principle is called as consciousness. or Brahman. Tad Brahma aham iti jnatva. I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am that non-dual, secondless, Kevalam Brahma Paramatma. So I have to shift my attention from being the individuality, the individual in this body, experiencing the world. I have to drop that. That notion, I am the individual Jivatma, has to be dropped. When this notion is dropped, I am called as Jivan Muktaha. Mayeva Sakalam Jatam. From whom alone the creation rises. Whole world has come out of me. I am the Jagrat Srishti Sushupti Karanam. That pure consciousness, pure Sat, is called as Karanam, the cause, the ultimate absolute cause, the changeless cause. Vivarta Upadana Karanam. Technical word. And it is this I, that pure consciousness, manifests the whole universe, sun, moon, stars. Manifest means what? If that light of consciousness is not there, the whole world is not there. If the light of consciousness is there, the world is there. But why can't I swallow this truth? Because of Deha Abhimana. See how beautiful these notes are. It's going step by step. Each part of the verse is being explained in four parts. Each verse is explained in 4, 5, 6 parts. Every part is then broken down. Reasoning is being given so that your intellect can pick up the full truth of the verse. Why don't I accept this truth? If the Upanishad is telling me I am that consciousness, the only reason is I am identified with this body as me. Deha Abhimana. I need to change from the nature of being a wave to I am the water. I am the water from whom the entire ocean and the waves are rising. No wave, ocean is separate from me, the water. So consciousness is not separate from the world. World exists in consciousness. It sustains in consciousness and it resolves into consciousness. That is why it is called as Advayam, non-dual. Advaita principle is the truth because of this reason. World exists in consciousness. There is only one non-dual consciousness. When I put the world in consciousness, it is called as Adhyaropa, superimposition. When I remove in the second step the world, that is called as Apavada. But what do I retain? I retain the substract. So when I transcend the individual body and mind and identify the Lakshyartha, Chinmatra Sakshi Chaitanyam, then I can claim I am free. My bondage is gone. That is why only when you learn the Mahavakya from this verse, you will be able to claim I am Nitya Mukta. This is the Mahavakyam. This is the central verse of the entire Kaivalya Upanishad, which teaches me I am ever free. The moment I slip into the ego, the waker I am with Dehatma Abhimana. Then I cannot say I am Paramatma. Because I'm identified with one body, it's a sacrilege, it's a papam. From macro upadhi alone, I am called as Srishti Karanam. The five elements constitute the entire universe, which is the macro, which is under the control of Ishvara. There is a Paramatma. I can't see it through my eyes, but there exists. From my own standpoint, I can never be called as the Karanam from the body standpoint. Karanam is also a status. It is given that pure consciousness is given a status of a Karanam, of being the cause. Like I am called as the father, the cause, only in front of my son or my daughter. Suppose my son and daughter are not in front of me, who am I? That is the question you should ask. I'm not the father, I'm not the mother, I'm not the sister, I'm not the daughter. Who am I? I am that pure consciousness. The ego I is always mixed up with the attributes of the body or mind. Whenever the Jagat is there, whenever I experience the world doesn't exist without consciousness. Whenever I experience the world, don't say that it doesn't exist. No, you say that I am the consciousness in which the entire world is just appearing. At any time, I can come out with this knowledge. If it is firm, I can always come out of the world within a second you can come out, because you know Sat means pure existence, Chit means pure consciousness, and Ananda means pure infinite in nature, timeless, spaceless, objectless awareness. With reference to the attributed ego I, the Srishti Karanam, the Jagat Karanam, is the macro Upadhi. Upadhi means the medium, the whole world. And that macro medium is controlled by Paramatma. And why is he called as a controller? In the scriptures, the law of karma is given a big prominence. The jivas, they do actions throughout their life. When they do actions, the result will come in the form of thoughts. And these thoughts may not come in this birth, it may come next birth, because you need certain conditions for those results to come. So, Ishvara, with the help of five elements, projects this universe for all the jivas to come and experience the sukham and dukkham in their prarabdha karma. That is the way I should get a vision of this world. And what is the Jivatma? If Paramatma is the cause, the Jivatma is a product. It is a karyam. Karanam is the cause. It always exists. It is permanent. Karyam is always changing. It is the micro body and mind, which we call it as Jiva. Vivek Chudamani has got this beautiful verse. Ekameva sadaneka karanam karanantara nirasya karanam karya karana vilakshana swayam brahma tattvama bhavayatmani. It gives us the essence of this mantra. Mayeva sakalam jatam. What does it say? As long as the world is being experienced, you say, I am the Karanam. But when the world is not experienced in the sleep state, you say, I am the Sakshi. The same Sakshi becomes the Karanam. the same Sakshi becomes the Karyam. The same Sakshi is Karya Karana Vilakshanam. It is called as the reality. That is why it is not even called as the cause. See how deep is the Vedanta. In order to say I am free from punyam and papam, we have to study the Vedanta like this. We have to say that Turiyam is beyond the three states. The same truth is being repeated here. Mayeva sakalam jatam. I am the sthiti karanam, support, base of the entire creation. So each one of us, I was reminded of the quote recently put up in the Divine Quotes where Swami Ramana Maharishi says, as soon as you wake up, each one of us will experience the self, the awareness first. And then you will experience your body and mind and the world. Similarly, when you go back to sleep, he says, Ramana Maharishi says in the Divine Quote, very beautiful quote, he says that when you go to sleep, you will end up being the awareness. It's the same idea here. Mai sarvam layam yati. After waking up, you can say the dream was there in me. It existed in me, and ultimately it was followed by me. Similarly, this waking also existed in me, the Atma survived in me, and then it resolved into me. That me is the pure consciousness. From my own standpoint, I am without the medium of the world or the body. And then I am called as Brahman. With the medium, I am either called Jivatma or Paramatma. Without the medium, I am called, the same I is there, non-dual I. It is called as Brahman. That Brahma Ahamasmi. It is not an arrogance. It is wisdom. With wisdom and truth, with knowledge, you are saying very boldly that I am the Sakshi. With the help of scriptures at the background, you can take the strength of the scriptures and boldly assert that Brahma Ahamasmi. As an Ajnani, I was suffering as the ego I, identified with my body and mind, experiencing the world. Now I have learned how to remove this vesha of mine, this dress of mine. I can remove it like I remove it from my dream world, the distortions of the dream world. The moment I shake it off, I can come back to this waking world. Similarly, from the waking world, I can remove the distortions of the mediums and the instruments of operating, which are operating in the Vyavahara. My sense organs may do anything. My mind may go through emotions and turmoil throughout the day, but I learn from Kaivalya Upanishad, the truth principle, that there are two dreams. One is while lying down in the sleep state, one is in the waking state. I am now woken up to my higher nature, which is beyond the dream and the waking. And then I can say, I have no more ignorance about myself. These attributes of the body as the superior attributes and the inferior attributes, Paramatma has got superior attributes of being omnipotent, omniscient. The Paramatma has got the Shakti to create this whole universe. The whole waking projection of the whole world is Ishvara Srishti. In the Ishvara Srishti, the Jiva comes in with his own mind and has his Jiva Srishti. He projects in his mind the experiences of joy and sorrow every day for a whole lifetime, and then takes up another body. That is called as Jiva Shrishti. In the 4th chapter of Panchadasi, Ishvara Srishti and Jiva Srishti are beautifully explained by Swami Vidyaranya in Panchadasi. If you're interested, you should go to the 4th chapter. Dakshinamurti Stotram, Vishwam Pashyati Karya Karanataya Saswami Sambandataha Shishya Acharyataya तथा एव पुत्रान् आत्मना भेदतः स्वप्ने जागति वा एष पुरुषः माया परिभ्रामितः तस्मै श्री गुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्री दक्षिणामूर्तये. Very beautiful verse. It says that this whole the same principle which is explained in this verse of the 19th verse of Kaivalya is explained in the 8th mantra of Dakshinamurti Stotram. Dakshinamurti Stotram is a PhD in Vedanta. It's a short treatise in which all the important principles of Vedanta are given. I have taken this. There are some videos available in the website. You can have a look at it. So this mantra says that the Purusha is deluded by Maya, by the Shakti. You know, there is Shakti in this world, like I have a Nidra Shakti. I can go to sleep. That Nidra Shakti belongs to the individual. Whereas the Maya Shakti belongs to the Ishvara. So, because of this Shakti which is operating, I sometimes become a teacher. I become a father. I become a mother. That's what is being experienced. That's what he's saying. But without this being a father, without the world in front of me, who am I? That is what Dakshinamurti Stotram is teaching me. Karya Karana Vilakshanaha. I am the Karanam of my son or my daughter. But when they are not around, who am I? Karya Karana Vilakshana Sakshi Aham. That is the teaching. When I put on the Karana Vesham, I can say this verse, Mayeva Sakalam Jatam. That is what it means. Okay, what I will do is I will take this mantra, which is the next mantra, the 20th verse, next week. This is just a continuation, like I said, from 16 to 23. They're all meant verses for contemplation. I can just close my eyes and dwell on these mantras. Always keep in mind, I am Sakshi, I am Chaitanyam, I am the Sat principle, pure existence principle. I am the body, I am the mind is a temporary principle in the waking state, dream state, sleep states. But the real nature of mine is I am ever free. If you know the background, then all these mantras is very easy to understand, and you can also contemplate and own up the meaning of these verses as your own truth principle. Okay, so with this, I will close for the day, and then we'll take up this verse, 20th verse, next week. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachade Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vasishyade. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Okay. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat box, or you can ask them. Okay, Mohan Krishnan is asking, Shankaracharya Avasatraya Viveka. Okay, the chapter from which text? Oh, Mandukya Upanishad. So the best Avastatraya Sakshi Viveka you get in Mandukya Upanishad. Very, very beautiful Upanishad. We will be doing that Upanishad later. 12 mantras, which teaches how I can know these three states. But you need a teacher. You read the verse, you may not understand the full depth. See, the problem with the Upanishadi mantras is you need a teacher to explain how to open up the mantras. This Mayeva Sakalam Jatam, which we did, now you know how to open it up. Because there is a hidden meaning in them. The truth is getting revealed. Okay? All right. Karthik to everyone. Okay. Okay. Anybody else has any question? Baubhai, are you there? Okay.
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah. Yeah, Baubhai, are you there? Yeah, Manikandan, go ahead.
Sir, when you talk about how to drop our ego,
Yes.
when we drop our ego, and we need to realize that we are the pure consciousness.
Yeah.
So when we drop that, at that time also the mind will be there. We cannot realize that. When I try to do that, it is very difficult to drop the ego and be with the consciousness. At that time, the mind is also coming into the picture.
Yeah, you're right.
So what is the technique, how we can drop the mind also?
Yeah, Manikandan, a very good question, because this is a common experience by all of us. See, we learn from the scriptures that you need to drop the mind and then dwell on the teaching. Now, this cannot happen overnight. It will happen the more you learn the scriptures, especially the more you learn about Atma. Are you attending my Wednesday sessions?
Sorry, I could not join because of the timing.
Yeah, timing. Okay, what you can do is you can just get the recording. If you join the course and say, I want to learn the Wednesday class on my own, we will send you the recording either by email or by WhatsApp. You can just join, not come as a participant. See, you can listen to the talks, you can listen to the meditation sessions there, and you can try to learn. See, there is an aspect of meditation which is important for going deep within yourself. Now, that technique of meditation is being taught on Wednesdays. It is just an exercise of taking up some of these verses and then closing your eyes and then contemplating on them. See, many a times when I'll tell you the problem in meditation, the problem is our mind is extroverted and it is an instrument which is bubbling with energy. This is how you should think about what your mind is. Now, this mind is a pure reflection of consciousness. Consciousness is energy. It has got tremendous energy. That is what is the ultimate. It can project the whole universe, means you can imagine what energy it will have. A small infinitesimal part of that gets reflected in my mind. Now, that mind which has got that reflection is the substratum. And the moment when my sense organs are open, what happens is that infinitesimal, small drop of consciousness in the mind, the moment it touches, it illumines my mind, that mind becomes completely, it becomes illumined with that consciousness, which is called as reflected consciousness plus the mind. Now that becomes the Ahamkara, I. And then what happens is, suppose my eyes are open, my ears are open, then that energy goes through the eyes and the ears and the skin, and it goes out into the world of forms and colors, sound, and so on. Now, this is a natural tendency of the mind, that it will always get attracted to the sense organs, and the sense organs will get attracted to the sense objects. I cannot change this. Now, what will make this change? The only thing which can make this change is the knowledge of Atma. So the more I listen to that Atma, see now how do I listen? Shravanam. Shravanam is go through the scriptures, let your mind settle down. In the Wednesday class, I'm taking the Panchakosha Viveka, how to cross the 5 layers of personality in us. So my mind is a very, it cannot suddenly go from gross to the Atman directly. I have to take it through 5 levels. This is a training of the mind. Without this training of the mind, if you sit down and say, I want to do meditation on Atma, it is impossible. You have to slowly, step by step, climb the steps of meditation. But it is possible. Lord Krishna says in the 6th chapter, everybody will say that my mind is turbulent, it is very firm, it is not leaving those sense objects. The moment I close my eyes, immediately all the thoughts of my profession, my family, my possessions, my body, my mind, those things will only come. The thought of Atma never comes. But it can be trained. That is what I'm teaching in my Wednesday class. Just to take up 1 or 2 meditation. All the meditation sessions are available in the website. If you're not able to get through, just write to us. We'll send you all the meditation notes or meditation talks. If you go through those talks, you will know how to meditate. And you can do it. You will be able to go deeper. See, the only thing is you just will go a little bit deeper. The only thing is this whole process of learning the scriptures is a slightly, it's a time, it requires time. It requires maybe 5 years. It may require 3-4 years minimum of study, so that the mind gets the acclimatization. Like how you climb the Mount Everest, there are 5 camps. At 5,000 feet, there's 1 camp. At 10,000 feet, there's another camp. At 15,000 feet, there's another camp. 20,000 feet, before you go to the 29,000, 30,000 and climb the Mount Everest. So these are all different camps. You go through them, you will be able to do it.
Thank you.
Okay.
I will take up this Wednesday courses meditation.
Yeah. Just join. Just write to us and say that I want to enroll myself. If you fill up the form in the website, you can just get these, and then you can watch these videos whenever you can. You have the freedom. You can just take it, and that's why there are many people like you who are doing these sessions remotely. Because they can't come. Many people are in the US, are in other countries also. They don't come for these classes live because of the time differences, or sometimes they can't come. But what they do is they go through these sessions, and then they are in touch with me. You see, they go through the session, they have questions, they write to me, and they get the questions clarified.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else has any other question?
Shekhar,
Yeah.
you know, I feel like this Upanishad is more clearer than others.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
We find easier to comprehend.
Correct. That's correct. You see, this is a very easy Upanishad. That's why I love this Upanishad. Anytime somebody wants to learn Upanishad, I'll just say Kaivalya Upanishad. It's very direct to the point. It brings out all the points, and it discusses the avastha trayam, that means the three states, and then it tells you how to meditate. See, the 6-7 verses are from 16 to 23. These are all brilliant verses for meditation.
Yeah.
And when you meditate on them, you can see the difference yourself.
True, true.
You can. You just try it out, you know.
Mr. Shekhar,
Yeah, Jacqueline.
I have one question.
Yeah, tell me.
Enjoyment, and just now enjoyment, and
Enjoying the experience.
yeah. So for these three, is it witness or what?
Okay. See, it is, there are two things here. One is the witness is always there, and then the enjoyer is also there. Now, enjoyer is the mind plus the consciousness. Okay?
Yeah.
My mind together with the consciousness becomes the enjoyer. The enjoyed objects are created, and I can experience the enjoyed objects because that is what is created by the Lord. There is a Lord who has created the whole universe. So that outside objects are there, I am the enjoyer. And then the enjoying takes place in my waking state. The same thing happens in the dream state also. In the dream state also, who is the dreamer? The dreamer is the enjoyer. Enjoyer means what? The same, there is a mind principle and there is a reflection of the consciousness in the mind. The only thing which makes a difference between dream and waking is, in the waking state, there are objects outside. But in the dream state, the objects are created by my own mind. My own mind projects the dream world objects. So what is happening is that the dream world, the dreamer, and the dreaming, the waking world, the waking objects, and the waking experience. Now, this tree, there is a dreamer, there is a waker I. That is the enjoyer. It is a reflection or in the mind. So in the mind, there are two things. There is a mind which is there, plus which is an inert thing. It can open up. It can bring a lot of thoughts. It has got the potential to have memory. It has a potential to have the ego, I sense. All that is there in the mind. But without the light of consciousness, this mind is inert. This mind is non-existent. According to Vedanta, it says that if your I is not, the pure conscious is not there, there is no world. So the way you should understand is this tree, which is the process which I experience. I am experiencing a nice lunch or a dinner. Who is the I? The mind. What is the outside? There is a lot of there's a very good, very nice food. That is the object. Now the object, the subject, and the experience, all three are possible only with the help of the light of consciousness. And the light of consciousness is this substrate. This is the highest truth. What happens in the sleep state? The enjoyer, the enjoyed, and the enjoying experience, all these three depend on the mind with the thoughts. That mind with the thoughts has resolved. In that resolved condition, this Sakshi, this witness, the consciousness is illumining that blankness. Therefore, I can say I am not the enjoyer of the world, but I am the witness of the enjoyment. In the sleep state, there is no enjoyment. In the waking state, there is enjoyment. Both the enjoyment and the non-enjoyment are not the real nature of mine. My real nature is I am the witness. Witness means it is of a different material. It is not the body material. It is not the mind material. It is the spiritual essence, which is called as Sakshi, which is called as witness, which is a divine being. This divinity is there in this body. I didn't know this. I didn't know this principle. In ignorance, I've been thinking I am the body. Through this Upanishad, I become awake to this truth, which is a fact. And I am able to recognize this today with the help of the teaching. And I can, first I have to recognize. Every seeker, he has to make this attempt to recognize, distinguish between the ego I and the witness I. Till your mind has not been able to do it, keep listening, keep listening, keep listening to the scriptures. Do more shravanam, more listening. The more you do listening, the more you will get the ability to do this difference. And the moment you are able to do it, you will enjoy it. You will never leave this real nature of yours. You will say, I am Sakshi all the time. It is so beautiful experience. I can just within a moment, I can drop the world. Like how you drop the whole world in the sleep state, right? What happens? Do you make a huge effort? No, you just put your blanket over your face and then you're asleep. So similarly, you can just drop the world and remain as Atma. That is the teaching in this Upanishad.
Okay, appreciate.
Thank you. Anybody else has any other doubt?
Okay, I have another question, which may be the same, but a bit sidetrack from current teaching. Not sidetrack. When there's a quotation in the Divine Code, it says, "You visit yourself" by Rumi. What does that mean, now?
Oh, good. It's yeah, okay. You have. I know you have put this question in the divine codes. Okay. See, you visit your divine self every day. What does it mean is that in your sleep state, you visit your real nature every day. And then you come back to this world of waking state. You experience the waking state for a few hours, okay? And then it goes back. And again, where do you go? You go back to the divine state, which is called as the state of Sakshi. It is the state of Turiyam. It is the state of Bhuma. It is our real nature. Without the scriptures, you will think, I just went to sleep. Whereas the truth is what Rumi is saying there is, you are not going to sleep, you are going and visiting your own house, your real house, which is Sakshi. You have been thinking in that this my world, this body, this house, this body, mind, all my possessions is my real world. No, that quotation which you have put is the truth. That is what the Upanishad is also saying, that, ultimately we drop this. We drop this with ease. You see, this is all, the Atma experience is there with all of us. Brahman is my experience. You see, the body, I'm a male, female, all is only at the Annamaya level. At the thought level, at the prana level, you're not even a male or a female and all that. That's already dropped. You have to rise above the 5 levels and hold on and say, I am the Atma. Okay?
Yes. I have a question. I would very much like to be in a Turiyam stage, where I am a Brahman, I am an Atma. The question, the things that I am having a bit of don't understand is, how often do you visit yourself? I am every day. If I don't have a mind, I am visiting myself every moment, which I don't know about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, that's also another deep question. I'm very glad you are using the term Turiyam, Atma, Brahman, all that. With your background, you're using these terms. I really congratulate you for having picked up so much knowledge of Vedanta in such a short time. I can see the deep interest in you to learn this subject matter.
Because I'm planning to be inside here to get to know you and to continue to listen.
Very good. I mean, you picked up quite a lot. I know for a person like you to use these terms itself is a big achievement, tremendous achievement for you, Jacqueline. To answer your question, what it means is, actually speaking, there is no difference between your real house and this. Every moment is only it's a moment of coming out of your house. Every moment, every second, that is at a higher level. See, initially the teacher will say that when you go to sleep, you will experience your real house. That is the initial for a junior student. But for a senior student, the same teacher will say, you never leave your house. It is only your imagination that you are coming out of your house, because it is only a thought which is coming out, and you are always in your house. What happens is, at a deeper level of understanding, a thought rises in your mind, and that gives you the feeling as if you have come out of your house.
Oh, okay. I got it now. Okay, understand.
Very good. Thank you.
Appreciate.
Anybody else? Okay, so if there are no questions, I'll close the day, and we'll meet next week and take up the next verse. Thank you and good night.
Good night. Thanks a lot, Guruji. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Thank you, Akshay. Thank you.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.